Right now at 6, a teen found alive after 3 days in a 240-foot ravine. Now the 13-year-old takes his first steps towards recovery.
And take a look at that sunrise. Looks great this morning. It is going to be warm. We are going to have sunshine. It is going to, well, it's going to be not just warm, it's going to be hot. And we have some fog to contend with this morning. We'll look at all that coming up.
Plus, children under 15 make up 21% of Missouri overdoses. One Southwest Missouri hospital is seeing an alarming increase in young patients.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOA Morning News. It's 6 a.m. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is Wednesday, August the 13th. And again, some kids back to school, some on their way next week or over the next few days. And my youngest, he plays this Roblox game, and he came to me the other day telling me that he was playing with his AI.
Oh, well.
He has an AI friend, an AI thing that the game has, and it interacts with him and stuff. And I'm like, do you even know what that is? How do you know what that is?
Oh, no.
It's the world we're getting into.
I know.
It's getting chaos. I can't keep up with it anymore.
Don't even know what to say.
It's AI, man. It's got its purposes. It's got good uses. It's got bad uses, but it's got ridiculous uses
right
too. But,
yes.
No AI in your forecast this morning. In fact, this is a live view from downtown Pittsburgh. It is not an AI view. It is not AI generated. I'm sure we could probably generate one, but it probably wouldn't look like Pittsburgh at all if we tried. So that's why, you know what? It's best just to stick with the live cameras. Got some clouds out to the east there, but otherwise clear skies. And same from our camera at 7th and range line. Look at that. Always some beautiful coloring. And I think it's all about the position of the camera too, because sometimes we get some really remarkable sunset or sunrise views from this camera that we don't see in Pittsburgh sometimes. And I think it's just because of the height difference and terrain differences here. We just get some different views of the sky. Here's a look at the fog tracker. Some of you may not be seeing that sunrise just yet. Chanute, you've improved a bit, just under a mile of visibility though. So still dense fog out there. And that's going to be Chanute surrounding areas, the Highway 54 corridor, parts of I-49, the Will Rogers Turnpike, I-44. You kind of get the idea. Most locations, not everybody, but most locations here in the 4 states experiencing some reduced visibility. So you've got to make sure you're slowing down, using your low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them, and just be wary of those rapidly changing visibilities as well, because you could run into a stretch of highway for a little bit that, again, it's clear, it's fine, and all of a sudden those visibilities drop. So you got to be aware and be prepared to slow down. Future track doesn't really have much to show us today. Perhaps a cloud, maybe 2, and a very low chance of an isolated shower here-ish, because our better chances for pop-up showers and storms has shifted east. Now, what we had yesterday, what we were showing you, didn't look all that great as it was in terms of chances for pop-up storms, but the whole risk area for any pop-up storms has shifted off to our east, and that's where it will remain today. We're at 69 in Joplin, 68 in Pittsburgh right now, and across the area, temperatures are pretty, again, close to normal. We've got upper 60s and some low 70s. In fact, most of us, though, in the upper 60s, so most of us a degree or 2 below normal this morning, so not a bad start out there. Fog could stick around through about 9 o'clock this morning. We'll be upper 70s by 9, upper 80s by noon. Highs today, hotter but seasonably hot. Our average high 91. We're looking at highs low 90s today, but heat index values could be into the upper 90s. And we'll have a north breeze at 5 to 10. Unfortunately, temperatures warming up today is just the beginning of a more significant heating trend, really, over the next few days. And we've got some other rain chances out there. We'll look at all of that in the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a Missouri teen has defied all odds. Cody Trinkle Jr. disappeared for more than 3 days and then faced life-threatening injuries. Now he's awake, alert, and even communicating with his family. As Megan Kernan reports, it's a moment Cody's mom says she will carry with her forever.
He wasn't going to give up, and he's like, nah, I'm not just going to lay here and die.
13-year-old Cody Trinkle Jr. never lost hope. He fell down 240 feet into a ravine near Goose Creek Lake. More than 3 days later, a canine found him alive. Cody was airlifted to St. Louis in critical condition and was placed in a medically induced coma. He had severe brain bleeding, pneumonia, and serious wounds from lying in water for 80 hours.
In my mom heart, I knew that he was finally going to be okay.
For 2 weeks, Cody's mom, Stephanie Neely, and their family never left his side. Then, over the weekend, hope broke through. Cody woke up
Oh my gosh, I was so overjoyed, especially when I went over there and I was like, "Do you know that this is mommy?" And he shook his head yes. And I was like, "Do you know that I'm here and that I love you?" And he said yes. I cried. I started bawling because that to me was like the sign that I really needed.
Cody is now off the ventilator, talking and starting physical therapy.
Cody, can you show me I love you with your hand? Good job. That moment, like that's when everything switched for me, and I knew like we're on a good road. In true Cody fashion, the first thing that he asked for when he woke up, he's like, "Ma, I need a Coke from McDonald's."
His family calls him Dakota Strong, and that strength is undeniable.
I've known he was a fighter since he was born. You know, he was born super preemie. And he fought for his life then, and now almost 14 years later, he's doing it again. He's like proving to them, like, I'm fighting, I'm still here, like, I can survive.
There's a GoFundMe page set up to help the family with Cody's medical expenses. And it was quite a sight in Carthage yesterday when a two-vehicle crash sent a car into the front porch of a home. Investigators say the car collided with a pickup at the corner of Orner and Poplar Streets. The pickup spun and rolled. The car veered off the road through a grouping of trees and struck the porch. The porch roof collapsed onto the car, and police tell us one person was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And of course, to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can always download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, new numbers show people under 25 are suffering the most non-fatal overdoses in the state of Missouri. Chris Bryant digs into the numbers and speaks with an emergency room nurse about the signs if you suspect someone is struggling with addiction.
We see a lot of accidental ingestion overdose patients in the population, like 1 to 9 years old.
According to Mercy Springfield, in July of 2018, they saw 9 visits to the ER of overdoses involving kids 17 and younger. That number dropped to 5 visits in July of 2023. However, in July of this year, that number climbed to 12. When it comes to children, there is a wide range of signs they have OD'd.
Not waking up, they can't wake their kids up, they're just laying around. Or on the other side could be just crying all the time, not able to console, crying, restlessness.
In the state of Missouri, of the 6,201 overdoses that were treated in emergency rooms in 2023, children under the age of 15 made up almost 21% of them. The second highest age group treated behind 15 to 24-year-olds.
Behavioral children and kids taking extra of whatever they are either prescribed or their family is prescribed, whether it be Tylenol or whatever medication they are on, they take more than they're supposed to take.
In the southwest region of the state, there was a total of 1,281 overdoses in 2023, with Jasper and Taney County coming in behind Greene County. In the central region, Phelps had 98 of those cases, while Laclede had 89.
It's in my experience, it's usually teenagers, about 12 to 16, attention-seeking behaviors that will take they don't know how many, they just say they took the whole bottle.
If you or someone you know is struggling or dealing with a substance abuse crisis, help is available. Call or text 988, or you can chat at 988lifeline.org.
I've been a nurse for about 15 years now, and I've wondered what was happening with all of this, just the increase in all of these kids coming in. It's just mind-blowing sometimes, and we just see it more and more. I don't know if it's social media related or easier access to get medication.
Springfield emergency rooms treated 491 overdoses in 2023. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather coming up on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump holds a virtual meeting with Ukraine and Europe today, 2 days before his sit-down with Putin in Alaska. Plus, defining long COVID remains a challenge. UCLA research finds the definition varies widely in medical studies. And Chris takes a look at your Wednesday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now, 6:09. We'll be right back. But first, here's a live look from Gun Park in Fort Scott, Kansas. Well, Topping Nation Watch this morning, the White House is juggling major domestic and international issues. Now, on one hand, surging federal troops into the nation's capital as part of the president's efforts to curb decreasing crime numbers. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is curbing expectations ahead of Friday's meeting between the president and Russian President Vladimir Putin, describing the meeting at a military base in Alaska as a listening session. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
Today, President Donald Trump will hold a virtual meeting with Ukrainian and European leaders 2 days before his sit-down with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
The president has deep respect for all parties that are involved in this conflict and are trying to bring this conflict to an end.
CBS News has learned the Trump-Putin meeting will happen Friday at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson on the northern edge of Anchorage, Alaska. While the White House says the details are still being finalized, it's working to temper expectations.
This is a listening exercise for the president. Look, only one party that's involved in this war is going to be present.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says discussions to end the war must involve Ukraine and Europe, adding Ukraine will not concede territory to Moscow. He also warned Russia could be planning a new military offensive. The White House says the eventual end goal is to get Putin and Zelensky together to hammer out a peace deal. All this as in the nation's capital, National Guard troops joined nearly 900 federal agents and officers posted around the district as the Trump administration defends its federal takeover of Washington, D.C.
I think the president made the right call on it, cracking down on crime in D.C.
While some D.C. residents acknowledge a history of violence in parts of the district, they're skeptical this is the solution.
Some people might be scared or something, but that's too much. We don't need troops in the city.
According to the Pentagon, National Guard troops are not expected to make arrests. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Washington, D.C.'s mayor has pointed out that she has no choice but to cooperate with the federal government. Yesterday, she and the city's police chief met with Attorney General Pam Bondi and other Justice Department officials to coordinate efforts between local and federal forces. White House sources say the federal takeover is expected to last around 30 days for now. And still to come, Prince Harry and Meghan extend their Netflix partnership. A new multi-year deal brings more content after With Love, Meghan. Plus, Chris has another look at your Wednesday forecast. Well, we'll hear from Taylor Swift for the first time since announcing the release of her new album and a new multi-year deal for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Christian Benavides has more on your Eye on Entertainment.
The Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry, and his wife Meghan announced their partnership with Netflix has been extended with a new multi-year deal. The partnership, first inked in 2020, brought viewers the Netflix special Harry and Meghan and the lifestyle reality show With Love, Meghan. The second season of With Love debuts later this month.
I can't believe I actually won! I have not felt a rush like this since I had exact change at the grocery store.
The cast of Family Guy was asked recently about their 25 years of success. Jennifer Tilly, Seth Green, and Alex Bornstein pulling back the curtain on just how long it takes to get an episode made.
It takes over a year. We are not spit it out. It's writing, it's rewriting, it's animatics, then color animation, then it comes back, and then we rewrite and rewrite more.
My God, it's the Griffinator!
Green, who voices character Chris Griffin, reflected on the show's popularity and longevity, a rarity in Hollywood.
It's insane for that to happen, and then for it to become a success, for us to get to do it all this time.
Season 23 of Family Guy is streaming now on Hulu and Disney+. Taylor Swift will appear on her boyfriend Travis Kelce's podcast, New Heights, tonight. In a tease clip, Swift announced her 12th studio album called The Life of a Showgirl.
I wanted to show you something.
Okay, what do we got?
We got,
a briefcase.
Yep.
Mint green with TS on it.
Yep.
What's in it?
This is my brand new album, The Life of a Showgirl.
The announcement comes nearly 3 months after Swift took ownership of the master recordings from her first 6 albums. Swift did not disclose the release date of the album or any other information about its songs. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
All right, let's take it over to Chris now for a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we're looking at the MoDOT camera at 20th and Range Line in Joplin. Looking back to the north, got clear skies out there. Folks getting ready to start the work day. And we also have some fog to talk about and increasing temperatures. Details on all that when we come back. Time now is 6:20. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 6:22 on this Wednesday morning. The latest update of the fog tracker, which happened just a moment ago. We've got very dense fog now building in a large area of this from Nevada west on 54. We've got Chanute, Iola, Fort Scott, all under a mile of visibility, so it's impacting a good stretch of 54 back toward Yates Center. So just again, slow down, low beams, not your high beams, fog lights if you've got them, and be aware of possibly rapidly changing visibilities as well. You could get into, again, stretches of the road. For 69 here from Pittsburgh to Fort Scott is a great example where things might be okay for a minute and then all of a sudden that visibility drops. We also have reduced visibilities around the Grand Lake area. Really, almost everybody now, with the exceptions of Pittsburgh, Bentonville, Cassville, and Mount Vernon, have got reduced visibility. So you need to be cautious out there as you begin your Wednesday morning commute. The future track for today doesn't really have a lot to show. If you look, there's a little cloud here and maybe one there. I think otherwise, we've got sunny skies across the area. We had the opportunity for some pop-up storms showing up yesterday across the region. They are still showing up, but now that is it. That's the only one that's showing up. And in all honesty, that one, it is a very low chance. The better chances have shifted off to our east and southeast. So we are looking to just be dry, hot, and a bit on the muggy side. And that trend will continue as we roll into our Thursday. We'll start going with maybe some partly cloudy skies and a light and variable breeze by Thursday as well. Here's what we are watching now, though. Over the next few days, it's going to be the bigger concern for a bit is the heat index values. Now today, not looking awful. Still, some of our southern counties could get into the upper 90s with these heat index values. So those who are a little more sensitive to the heat, this is starting to reach that point where it could start to bother you a bit more. And then by Thursday into the weekend, it's when it really starts to get hot. Tomorrow, heat index values, a lot of us reaching 100. Some of us maybe even a little above that, getting close to 105 in some locations. And Friday looks to be one of the muggier days as well, heading into the weekend, though, because our temperatures are going to increase into the weekend. So we've got heat index values, 105. Some of us maybe even getting close to 110 by Friday. So again, you just want to make sure that you're staying hydrated, you're taking precautions, watching out for yourself, because you can see by Saturday, it's the same thing. Upwards of 105, maybe even close to 110. And the reason is again, temperatures are going to climb quite a bit. Beautiful sunrise out there this morning from 7th and Range Line in Joplin. We'll have the patchy fog continuing through about 9, especially in the parts of southeast Kansas. It may linger for a bit this morning. Low 70s to start. We'll go in the low to mid 80s by 11 o'clock this morning. Our highs today, even though the heat index values are going to start to get uncomfortable, our highs are pretty close to normal. We should be about 91. We're looking at the low 90s out there, so just a few degrees above average. We'll have a north breeze around 5 to 10. Into the evening we go, still pretty mild, clear skies, but overnight we go back below average at least one more time as we fall back into the upper 60s tonight. Our average low about 70. Tomorrow, a little warmer, still not excessively above normal, but continuing to climb. It's, again, this weekend and in the next week that we really have got to watch out for, because our high temperatures begin to climb upper 90s, close to 100, and that's why those heat index values could hover around 105 to 110 through the weekend and the start of next week. And we do have some pop-up storm chances, and while those will be very isolated, that will also help increase dew point humidity levels, which is again why those heat index values are something we've got to pay close attention to. Let's check your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, what are the biggest reasons kids miss school? A survey of parents by the Kids Mental Health Foundation found that while the #1 reason was being physically sick, nearly a third of parents say their child missed school due to fear or anxiety. Mental health reasons keeping kids from school include bullying, not fitting in, worrying about a test, or having to speak in public. And establishing what long COVID actually is a challenge in the medical community. Research from UCLA found the definition of long COVID varies widely in research studies, which makes it harder to treat patients and study the disease. Researchers say a standard definition of long COVID is needed to make sure people are accurately diagnosed. And when you order food online, do you make healthy choices? A new survey published in the British Medical Journal found most people don't. Now, despite caloric information being readily available, 71% of people say the calorie labeling had no impact on the food they chose to order. Taste and price are the two biggest factors in how people choose what food to order online. Now, those are some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 6:30, getting on and off school buses can be vulnerable. Joplin martial arts instructor teaches kids stranger safety.
And we've got a pretty nice sunrise out there this morning. We're looking at sunny skies. It's going to be hot. It's going to be a little muggier out there as well. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the school year is officially here for ARMA students. Northeast USD 246 starts their second 4-day school year.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 6:30. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is also Wednesday, August the 13th, halfway through this week. Some kids, they're a couple of days into the new school year already. Others, you're counting down. You've got just a few more days left before school starts again. And hopefully some of you looking forward to it out there as well. I mean,
it is fun. Like once you get there and you do the whole process and everything, but counting down those last few days of summer can
settling in, it's a little tough to get back into the groove, but it's not too bad.
No.
Man, I wish I hadn't been so lazy in high school. I miss high school.
Really?
I feel like I could have done a little more, but I didn't, and that's all right. But make sure you put in your maximum effort, and if you're heading to school today, make sure you're ready for the heat because it's returning. It's going to start with a live look outside downtown Pittsburgh. It doesn't look hot right now. Well, that's because right now it is not, but it looks very nice. Great sunrise out there. Our camera 7th and range line. Got a couple of clouds out there, but otherwise looking really good. Those clouds off to our east. We're looking at clear skies for us today, but not this morning, not for some of us. Some of the school buses, for those maybe going back, are going to be running a little slow possibly. We've got fairly dense fog out here from Nevada stretching west on the 54 corridor all the way to Yates Center. Fort Scott, Iola, Chanute, all below 1 mile of visibility. We've got reduced visibilities, at least to some degree, for just about everyone. Pittsburgh, Mount Vernon, Cassville, Bentonville, doing all right with visibilities, but everybody else and everywhere else, there's at least some kind of patchy fog out there this morning. So you've got to slow down, as we've mentioned all morning. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them, and just be cautious out there. And also, watch out for rapidly changing visibilities because it's reduced in Nevada. It's just under 6 miles, and then you get to Fort Scott and it's almost only half a mile. That's not that long of a drive, all things considered, from Nevada to Fort Scott on 54. So that's how quickly things can change. That's why you've got to play it safe. Once we get beyond the fog, we are looking at maybe a cloud, perhaps two. That's really about it. We had some pop-up storm chances today. Those have pretty much gone away. Future Track thinks maybe an isolated shower might try and get going out there up toward Appleton City, but I really think in the most part we're dry. We're done. We don't really have good rain chances until the weekend, and even then they're not great. The pop-up storm chances have shifted a little further to our east for today, so that's why they're not really showing up anymore on Future Track. Temperatures this morning pretty close to average. Some of us a little below. We've got 69 in Joplin, 68 in Pittsburgh, and across the areas I mentioned, some of us a bit below normal, not significantly, but we do have some upper 60s. In fact, we've got a lot of upper 60s out there, and we do have, 1, 2, 3 low 70-degree readings, 70 Chautauqua, Veneta, and 72 the warmer spot down in Bentonville. So again, not a bad start to the day by any means, at least in terms of our temperatures, but we do start heating up today. That fog could continue through about 9 a.m., especially in the southeastern Kansas, so do be aware of that. Upper 70s by 9, upper 80s by noon. Our highs today, seasonably hot, low 90s, but the humidity levels increasing a bit, and so our heat index values today could be into the upper 90s, and some of us could get close to 100, so make sure you're staying hydrated out there. We'll have a north breeze around 5 to 10. Unfortunately, these temperatures aren't going to last. They're going to continue to climb as we roll into the weekend. We'll go over those details and talk about some of those at least slight rain chances here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, we'll see you soon, Chris. Thanks. Well, getting on and off the school bus can be a routine part of a child's day, but for some, it can also be a moment of vulnerability While abductions are rare, Johns Hopkins Medicine reports that most incidents involve children between the ages of 10 and 14, often occurring between 2 and 7 p.m. As these situations can happen anywhere, a martial arts instructor from the Forge in Joplin explains how children can protect themselves when encountering a stranger near the bus stop.
Get picked up, they have to put you down eventually. So you kick. You scream. If there's flesh available, you bite. The big thing is deploying and not like rearing back, because they have self-defense inclinations too. They might block you. What do you do if they block you? Hit them with the other hand.
Johns Hopkins Medicine says you should start talking to your child about avoiding strangers at an early age. Carl Junction kicks off back to school fun with a street fest. School isn't back in session there until Monday, but yesterday afternoon, the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce hosted a back to school block party. The bash featured food trucks, music, games, and activities, free giveaways, and allowed parents the chance to meet their children's teacher during an elementary class open house.
Just talking with the families and having some of the teachers that we've previously had with our older kids come by and say hi to us, and just seeing some old familiar faces that we don't always see.
A Carl Junction High School Student Success Committee planned and coordinated the back to school block party. The school year is officially here for some Southeast Kansas students. Northeast USD 246 in Arma is one of the few local districts that started yesterday. The rest will start in the days and weeks to come. This is Arma's second 4-day school year. Teachers introduce classroom expectations and help students find their lockers. As they navigated their way to each classroom, the high school principal reported a notable increase in underclassmen enrollment this year. Well, yesterday, Neosho community members had the opportunity to have their voices heard about a proposed sale of the city's water and wastewater systems. The Neosho town hall topic, a deal worth more than $34 million. KOAM Samantha Walker has the details from the meeting.
Community members packed the Neosho Civic Center, asking questions and learning more about the potential sale of the city's water system to Missouri American Water for $34.5 million.
You say would not be a flat rate. How would that look?
According to the city of Neosho, the water system, primarily built during World War II, is aging and in dire need of repair. Mayor Richard Davidson says the system has seen up to 50% water loss.
At some point you have to say, it's been 20, it's been 30, it's been 40 years. How long do we continue to try before we realize we might need different expertise or different set of eyes on this to fix it?
The infrastructure improvement is why the city reached out to Missouri American Water, and exactly why the Missouri-based company is interested in purchasing the systems.
Our model is to invest and make the water and wastewater systems better. Basically, when we talk to different communities, we find that they're struggling with that, and our company, that's all we do. We invest and make the water and wastewater systems better. Neosho reached out to us, we reached out to them. We believe this is a good project to help us solve all their water and wastewater issues.
Now, according to this proposed agreement, the funds that the city would receive from this sale could be used to pay off existing debt, strengthen financial reserves, or go towards other infrastructure development projects without the need to raise taxes.
If the sale were to occur, the city would be in the parks business, the city would be in the streets business, we'd be in the police business, we'd be in the fire business.
Community members brought questions about where the money would go, possible rate changes as a result of the sale, and how city employees would be impacted. According to representatives, the 13 city employees who currently work on the water system would then work for Missouri American Water, and the company would build an operations base in Neosho.
I'm about Neosho. I'm about Neosho. I'm about Newton County. I love this community. It's my community.
Both city staff and Missouri American Water representatives emphasized their desire to be transparent and communicative with Neosho residents throughout this process.
And so we wanted to have that open dialogue with all the residents so they know what their options are. We believe this is the right option to help solve some of the water and wastewater problems in the community.
Reporting in Neosho, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
If you missed yesterday's town hall, you still have the chance to give your input. The city of Neosho has a phone number, email, and an online input form for community feedback. You can find that information on our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Ford is recalling more than 100,000 F-150 pickup trucks. Plus, the wait is almost over. Taco Bell launches its new Mountain Dew Baja Midnight flavor tomorrow. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Time now 6:39. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look from Gun Park in Fort Scott, Kansas. In Consumer Watch, inflation rose 2.7% in July compared to last year and 0.2% compared to June, according to the latest Consumer Price Index report. So-called core inflation, a measure that excludes more volatile food and energy prices, rose to a 5-month high, 3.1% over the past 12 months. Wall Street rallied after the numbers came in slightly cooler than economists had predicted. Food prices overall jumped 0.2% last month compared to June, while gasoline fell 0.5%. And Ford is recalling more than 100,000 F-150 pickup trucks, affecting some models made between 2023 and 2025. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says the truck's axle hub bolts can break, which could result in a loss of driver power or cause the vehicle to roll away when the parking brake is not applied. NHTSA warns drivers may hear a clicking or rattling noise if the bolts break. Affected owners will be notified to take their trucks to a dealership for a free repair. And the wait is almost over. Taco Bell is launching its new Mountain Dew Baja Midnight flavor tomorrow. The drink, combining passion fruit flavor with the original Baja Blast, comes on the rocks or frozen for a limited time. Rewards members can get a free medium-sized Baja Midnight with a $5 app purchase starting Friday. And that's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Now here's Chris with a quick look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got a beautiful sunrise out there. A cool start to the day, at least for August standards, a little below average. However, temperatures climbing near average today and heating up into the weekend. We'll talk about the heat and some of those pop-up storm chances when the KOAM Morning News returns. Also got birthdays and anniversaries right after this. Time now, 6:44. Time now for some Wednesday birthdays, and we are starting in Seneca with Baker Hilburn celebrating birthday number 7. Says with love from Mimi and Papa.
And in Columbus, a happy birthday to Roger Box.
And in Pittsburgh, Shirley Luton celebrating another year wiser. Happy birthday, Shirley.
And last but not least, over in Hepler, a happy birthday to Bob Kimmick.
All right, that's a short list of
really
birthdays and
was.
anniversaries. It just makes those folks' birthdays much more special.
Certainly.
But of course, everyone would like to celebrate with us. I know
Yes.
you do. You want to have your loved one's photo up there. You want to send them a message. And to do that, Elise says that what you need to do.
Yes, please submit those birthdays and your anniversaries to birthdays@koamnewsnow.com. Be sure to meet the deadline at the bottom of your screen there, and also please include the date of your celebration when submitting as well.
Of course, very important information there, and some important weather information for you this morning as well, as we've got some pretty dense fog. The latest update on the fog trackers brought visibilities down. We're getting close to zero visibility. Chanute, Iola, even Fort Scott, just under half a mile now. So we're talking, but take a look, and this is what we talk about too with those rapidly changing visibilities. The drive from Nevada to Fort Scott is not that significant of a drive. It's not that long of a drive to get from here to there. But look at how quickly the visibilities decrease and how much they decrease as well. It's a 5.3 mile drop, 4.3 mile drop in visibilities. You've got to slow down. Low beams, not your high beams. Fog lights if you've got them. Be prepared for rapidly changing visibilities, and that's what we mean by that. Is Nevada reduced visibility. It's just under 6 miles, but then you get to Fort Scott and it's dropping below half a mile, and it will do so rather quickly along the 54 corridor. And that continues all the way out to Yates Center. Again, Chanute, Iola, Fort Scott, Fredonia, Parsons. We've got reduced visibilities in nearly every community to some degree, except for Pittsburgh, Mount Vernon, Cassville, and Bentonville. Not significantly reduced there. So, but you still need to slow down around the Grand Lake area as well. The densest fog again in some of our northern counties into southeast Kansas. This fog may stick around for a little bit this morning, so you also need to be prepared for that as you start your Wednesday commute. In terms of rain chances, really there's not anything. There's a cloud here, there's a cloud there. I think we're otherwise looking at clear skies today. Future Track still thinks maybe a pop-up shower up in some parts of Bates County. Honestly, It's kind of iffy on that. We had some pop-up storm chances around the region today that were showing up yesterday. They are gone today because what's going to be kind of that help and that boost to get some pop-up storms, that's shifting off to our east for today. So we're just looking to be hot, dry, and a bit on the muggy side, and that trend will continue into our Thursday as well, as we're just looking at some partly cloudy skies as we head into Thursday afternoon. Here's the big change, and here's what we're wanting to watch over the next few days is our heat index values. Now today, our temperatures will be seasonably hot, so we're not expecting heat index values to rise significantly, but still some of us getting close to 100 degrees out there at those heat index values, and some of the more sensitive populations, these numbers can be an issue. And they're going to become an issue for almost everybody, though, as we head into the weekend, because by tomorrow, we're looking at a lot more 100-degree readings at some of our southwestern communities, starting to get closer to 105. We roll into Friday, and as our temperatures rise, obviously the heat index values will rise with that. The problem is our temperatures really start rising, so our heat index values now for Friday upwards of 105, maybe to 110, and that will continue again as we head into Saturday as well. 105, upwards of 110 in some cases. So you got to make sure you're staying hydrated, taking precautions, taking care of yourself, keeping an eye out on children, your pets, the elderly. You want to make sure everybody is staying okay, because it is going to get downright hot over the next few days. All right, sunrise looks great from 7th and Rangeline this morning. Again, skies pretty clear out there. Patchy fog, though, could continue, especially in the parts of southeast Kansas through 9 a.m. So keep that in mind as you're heading out on your commute this morning. Low 70s to start, and we'll be right about the mid 80s by 11 a.m. We're going to have another look at your forecast, talk more about the heat that's going to continue to increase into the weekend. We'll also, of course, have a look at your wake up recap. And when we transition over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m., or if you just hang out with us right here streaming on KOAM Plus, we're going to tell you about an 18-year-old simple idea that's transforming into a life-saving mission, one bow tie at a time.
This is your Wake Up Recap for August 13th. Your top stories to start your day. A dramatic crash in Carthage yesterday saw a car collide with a pickup at Ordner and Poplar Streets, sending the car into a home's front porch. The porch roof collapsed onto the vehicle. Now, one person was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. And Neosho is considering a $34.5 million sale of its water and wastewater systems to Missouri American Water. The first reading was presented at the August 5th council meeting. Now, if the deal proceeds, it will require approval from the Missouri Public Service Commission. And young golfers are showcasing their skills in Joplin at the AJGA tournament held at Twin Hills Golf and Country Club. This unique 18-hole event pairs aspiring players with college and professional golfers. Proceeds support financial assistance for talented juniors lacking resources. And that's a check of today's Wake Up Recap.
And temperatures heating up for us across the area. Seasonably hot, low 90s, but heat index values could approach 100. Clear skies, north winds 5 to 10. Clear skies as we roll through the evening and into the overnight hours. We'll go back into the upper 60s, so just a smidge below normal, some kind of like what we're experiencing this morning. But the below normal thing and the average thing, that's not going to last too terribly long as we start to heat up rolling into the upcoming weekend. A reminder, too, we have some pretty dense fog, the 54 corridor, so Fort Scott, Iola, Chanute, Yates Center, Nevada. We've got patchy fog across the area, but very dense fog in our northern counties, so please slow down. Use your low beams, not your high beams, and just be prepared for rapidly changing visibility. So again, low 90s today. We'll go low mid 90s tomorrow, so still close to normal, a little hotter. Overnight lows, not too bad initially, then they start heating up, and then look at these temperatures. They don't like us anymore. We have pop-up storm chances, low ones, but at least it's there. Saturday through next Wednesday, we also hold on to those temperatures into the upper 90s, near 100. So as we go into the weekend, heat index values are going to start climbing. Could be 105, could be upwards of 110 in some cases. So make sure you're staying hydrated. Make sure that you're taking breaks if you're outside. If you're sensitive to the heat, stay in as you can. And of course, with the pop-up storms, remember the other side. When thunder roars, head indoors. A couple of days ago, we had that lightning strike north of Joplin from a storm 50 miles away. So you always want to be cautious out there with that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And coming up today at noon, we're making lip smacking lemon shake up in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
And your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Grammy-winning rapper Kid Cudi sits for a very candid conversation with Anthony Mason about his new memoir. He opens up about fatherhood, overcoming addiction, and his struggles with fame.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues this morning. Welcoming a newborn into your home can be heartwarming as well as stressful. We'll hear a few tips to help ensure that your baby is safe while they sleep.
Plus, Stephen Pendergraph from VFW 5293 joining us with an invitation to this year's Wings and Wheels car show and fly-in coming up in September. A lot of good stuff coming up on Fox 14. A lot of great stuff coming up. If you're heading back to school, be safe, have fun, enjoy, learn. That's the most important thing. And we will be back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
And we'll see you today at noon.